A positive event. It's a positive event because we really get something concretely done for people. And what I'd like to do in terms of starting is just recognize we have a lot of boots on the ground in terms of people who do tax preparation for our clients across the state. And I would just like them to stand up and be recognized. Thank you. So I have to give a shout out to our CFO, Rita Gandhi, who by herself has prepared literally millions of dollars worth of tax returns and brought quite a bit of money back to local communities. EITC is really a very special thing. Community action agencies in particular do a lot of things. Provide health services, provide Head Start, counseling services, a variety of mental health services, some child welfare services, and so forth. But one of the most important things that we do is what we're here today to talk about, because all of the services in the world cannot replace economic stability. And so we know that intuitively, we know that in terms of the people that we're serving. I often say to our staff in Woonsocket, all of the counseling in the world doesn't matter if you don't have a roof over your head, if you don't have gas in your car to be able to get to work, and so forth. And that's what this program is all about. We're waiting for the governor. Should I just... Okay. Well...
We'd like to move on to the speaking program, and when the governor comes in...
we will move on to our speakers, and we'll bring the governor up here when she gets here. The first person I want to call up to the podium is someone who has been a champion for earned income tax credit at the federal level, and he has been supportive throughout the last 10 years. So I'd like to welcome Senator Sheldon Whitehouse to the podium.
Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you all for gathering for this occasion. Thank you to the news media who are here to help get the message out that the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit are available. And we don't have the numbers in yet for 2015, but for 2014, it served 83,000 Rhode Island families. The average payment was over $2,000, $2,200 in rough numbers, and the total into the Rhode Island economy was around $190 million. And that $190 million, as you know, got spent here. It went to the washing machine repair. It went to the market. It went to the tire place. It went to make people's lives work better. I'm very pleased that in the final negotiations that were accomplished on the budget and appropriations this past year, we were able to increase the amount that you could earn and still get the tax credit, and to raise the amount for families with children. And that will be a very significant boost. It is probably the biggest boost to lower-income Americans that we've seen in decades. I mean, it really is going to make a difference. So we're going to keep pushing, and we want in 2016 to see those numbers be way above what they were for 2014. So I'm pleased to be here and help spread the word. People do need to file in order to get the benefit. And when they do, it's a benefit that you can get even if you don't pay income taxes. It's what's called a refundable credit in many cases. So thank you so much to the governor for hosting this. to our treasurer for being here, Representative Slater, Senator Golden, Representative Bennett, Representative Lancia, all here as well. And thank you particularly to the community groups who are all here. We live in a world, I particularly live in a world in Washington, in which big special interests get pretty much what they want most of the time. And they have built stuff in place in our tax code, for instance, that is unjustifiable and unfair, but we can't get rid of it because of the power that they have politically. We live in politics right now in which big special interests take really good care of themselves. And in that world, the work that you do day in and day out to help the people who are overlooked in Washington so often really makes a difference. So thank you to all of you. Let's get this EITC news out there. And I want to pay a particular salute as I leave the microphone to Jim Langevin. This was as much fought in the House as it was fought in the Senate. The House Democrats, with Jim and David representing Rhode Island, really pushed this hard, and had it not been for Nancy Pelosi's insistence on behalf of the House Democrats, this would not have happened. So this was a big win for Jim and David as well, and I want to applaud them. Thank you all very much for having us.
Thank you, Senator. The next person I would like to invite up to the podium is the Honorable Congressman Jim Langevin.
Well, good morning, everyone. Great to be with you today on this event to raise awareness about the tax credits that are available to Rhode Island families. And couldn't come at a better time, I'm sure. I'm thrilled to be here with Senator Whitehouse. I appreciate his comments. Great to be with Treasurer Seth and Senator Golden and Representative Slater, all the community organizations who are here as well. And I thank you all for the work that you're doing to get the word out about the free tax program, as well as the tax credits that are available to Rhode Island families, as long as they take advantage of it, they file their taxes and file for the tax credits that they're entitled to. Sheldon mentioned it. I'm thrilled that we had a real bipartisan win at the end of the day, at the end of the last session, where we reauthorized or made permanent some of these tax credits. The earned income tax credit was made permanent in the extenders package. The child tax credit was made permanent in the extenders package, and along with the American Opportunity Tax Credit and a number of other ones, the premium tax credit as well. This is money that's on the table for Rhode Island families to take advantage of it. Obviously, it can be used for any number of important expenses, whether it's helping to pay the rent or a mortgage, whether it's putting gas in the tank or food on the table. These tax credits will go a long way toward helping Rhode Island families achieve economic stability and independence. And again, it couldn't come at a better time. So I thank all the community organizations that are helping to put on the VITA program and making sure that people can get assistance and getting their taxes filed free of charge. And last year, I'm told from Meg from the IRS that just at the community action sites and the VITA sites, that it brought in just the earned income tax credit and the child tax credit over $8 million last year alone. And with all of the tax credits and incentives that are available, it was over $17 million just at these sites, the VITA sites and the community action sites. So you can see that these programs are having an extraordinary impact. And we just want to continue to get the word out to Rhode Island families to file the taxes and take advantage of these credits that are available, and let's help them get on the road to economic independence. So thank you all. I especially want to applaud again our community action programs, all the community organizations that are here, that you'll hear from in just a minute. They do extraordinary work throughout the year on a variety of important issues that help, especially low-income families. And this is just another example of their partnership with the community. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you all.
Thank you, Congressman. Next, I'd like to invite Treasurer Seth Magaziner to the podium. The Treasurer continues to follow the tradition of really trying to strengthen our financial literacy in the state, and we're pleased to have him here today.
All right, good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone for turning out on a Friday morning. I want to thank the community organizations that are here, recognize Congressman Langevin, Senator Whitehouse, Representative Slater and Lancia and Bennett and Senator Golden. I particularly want to recognize the legislators because in addition to the tremendous benefit of the federal earned income tax credit, it's also worth noting that Rhode Island this year expanded the state earned income tax credit, which is going to help thousands of Rhode Islanders. So thank you for that. This is an important step forward, and maybe if we're lucky, we can take another step forward this year. I want to recognize also, the Community Care Alliance, Citizens Bank, United Way, Economic Progress Institute, all of the community groups that are here. I see our CAP agencies are represented, Jobs with Justice, members of our labor community. This is a team effort, and it's an important one. As you all know, I spend most of my days managing the state's investments, and I can say with confidence that there is no better investment than investing in working Rhode Island families. Now, when you invest in Rhode Island families through the Earned Income Tax Credit, this is not some huge, complicated government bureaucracy. This is a direct investment. This is cash in the hands of Rhode Islanders who need it the most, and it benefits all of us because they can use that cash to help start that business, to help move into a home, permanent, stable housing, to help pay off their student loans or pursue education. This is a direct investment in working Rhode Islanders. It benefits all of us. I was thinking back earlier today about my first job out of college. As some of you know, I was a public school teacher. I taught in Louisiana at first when I graduated from college. I moved down there. I was a first-year teacher making $30,000 a year. And I remember that day in March when I clicked the button to file my taxes online and found out that I was going to be eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit. It was a great feeling and a surprising feeling. I mean, I think the point that I want to make on that is, it's not just people at the very bottom of the income scale who benefit from this program. It's middle-class families, too. I mean, it is those first-year teachers. It is those individuals who are making $30,000, $40,000, $45,000 a year who will benefit from this program if we do a good job getting the word out. Now, Senator Whitehouse gave you the good news, which is the thousands of Rhode Islanders who have benefited from the Earned Income Tax Credit. The flip side to that is that there are thousands more who are eligible but haven't benefited because they didn't file. And that's the work that's before us today, is making sure that we get the word out, that we help people file, that we help people take advantage of these funds that are there available for them. It's an important investment for our state. It's an important investment for working Rhode Islanders. I'm going to do everything I can to get the word out in the next few months. For a lot of people, tax time is a time of year that they don't look forward to. But for many Rhode Islanders, this could be a wonderful time, a time to get that tax credit that'll help them achieve their dreams. So thank you very much to everyone involved, especially the volunteers on the ground. Appreciate it.
Treasurer makes an important point in terms of working people at the middle class level that are also requesting this assistance. If you look across the human service organizations in this state, particularly the community action agencies, you will find a great number of our workforce who are also queuing up in terms of taking advantage of Earned Income Tax Credit and this service. The other thing that I think is important to note about this service is that because it's the VITA program, there is no fee. And so there's not only the return in terms of earned income tax credit or other tax credits, there's the fact that the individual or the family is not charged, which is another savings of mostly in excess of $200. So this program really benefits people all the way around. The next person I want to invite up is Barbara Cottam from Citizens Bank. Barbara has been really a champion of financial literacy for many years, and Citizens Bank has been instrumental in terms of assisting us in getting the word out across the state, now going on 10 plus years. So we appreciate Barbara being here.
Thanks, Ben. And as has been said, we're all here because today matters. The EITC program is so important to Rhode Islanders. This is the 9th year Citizens Bank has participated in the program and the public awareness campaign. And you might say, why do we keep coming back? For 2 reasons. As was just said by the treasurer, not everybody files, and we need to get those resources back into the hands of Rhode Islanders. Second reason is 1/3 of those eligible are new each year. So it's a different population, and it's critical that we get this word out, because together we're all helping give individuals and working families that extra help they need to increase their financial stability and economic independence, and that is vitally important. In addition to the tax credits and the free tax preparation, the VITA sites also offer something else that's dear to our heart, that's critical, and that is financial education. Last year, Citizens gave $125,000 for financial education programs. $50,000 of that was given to 25 VITA sites throughout the state. Because understanding how to manage these tax credits gives consumers the confidence they need to make educated financial decisions. And those decisions range from saving money, paying bills off so that they're current. It could be a down payment for a house. It could be purchasing a car. But you need to decide what is best for you. And everybody, we all need the tools to determine whether to budget, save, invest. These tools all help us develop healthy financial habits. So I want to thank the tax preparers who are here today. I'm glad you're with us. I want to say a special thanks also to the Rhode Island CAP agencies, headed by Joanne McGonigal and Paula McFarland, the entire Rhode Island Northern VITA Coalition, and our partner in so many ways, the United Way and Tony Maione, who does a great job over there, and all that the staff does for managing all of these calls to 211. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to, I'm jumping ahead here a little bit. The next person I'm going to ask to come to the podium is Tony Maione. Tony has been a long-time friend of our organization and the CAP organizations. I was teasing him earlier. He parked his minivan out front. Brought a bunch of people over from Olneyville, I think. But one of the ways that this process gets done is, and not a lot of folks appreciate it, is that community action agencies and other community organizations really leverage as much as possible in terms of time and resources, volunteers, and so forth. The United Way has been instrumental in allowing us to support this process financially. And their support has been instrumental in terms of growing this over the last 10 years. So I'd like to invite Tony up to the podium.
Thank you, Ben. It's my pleasure to be here today. Probably our unique contribution to this, or one of them, is the fact that we run 211, which is a phone number you call for any health and human service you might need in Rhode Island, 24/7, 365 free. Last year we took 213,000 telephone calls, representing about 21% of the Rhode Island population, if you think about it. And so I want to first just mention and thank the 211 staff, because they're incredible. We manage that amount of calls on about 20 people. And what we hear from the people who call are needs for housing assistance, food, rental assistance, utilities. And what is definitely changing, and has changed over time, is the people we talk to are employed. They have a job and a half. Sometimes they have two. And they're trying to make it work, and they can't make it work without some help. And so, thankfully, we have our friends at Citizens who not only sponsor our income tax credit, but they also sponsor that 2-1 van that is referenced. That's a giant RV that is sitting out in front of the State House right now. So on your way out, feel free to stop in and visit. It's also going to be a source of what we're calling this year pop-up VITA sites. So communities that can't maybe get to a site, we're going to come there and with the van and open up to do VITA in their communities. And we think that's a good new development. So EITC is critically important. You've heard that. When you make $25,000 a year and you get $2,000 refund, that's a 10% increase in pay that you can go spend on needed items for you and your family. What's important for people to remember is, if you don't know, you just don't know where a 211 site is, you don't know if you don't know where a VITA site is, and you don't know if you qualify, you don't have the information, all you have to do is dial 211. I'm grateful for all the support of all the people here today. Without all of you, we couldn't do it. Let's do the rest of that population that's out there that's eligible. Thank you very much.
Okay, so the governor's here. So we're going to go back to the beginning. I am very pleased to introduce the governor. She has really been a champion of beginning with financial literacy back to her days as treasurer, and now promoting earned income tax credit. She really, I think, has been one of the few governors who has really gotten out to community organizations and understands at a very basic level that this resource matters. This resource matters in terms of food and clothes for kids and transportation and a whole variety of things. So it's my honor to ask Governor Raimondo to come up to the podium.
Thank you and good morning. I don't think I've ever missed this event, although I do miss not being in Woonsocket, but thank you all for coming here. Anyway, it's wonderful to be here. Many colleagues in government, thank you, Senator Whitehouse, for being here, and the Treasurer, Senator Golden, Representative Slater, Representative Lancia. Thank you all for being here. It is so important that we support the EITC program, because there are many people among us who are working full-time and barely making ends meet. And and we all know them. They're our friends. They're the moms and dads we see dropping off kids with our kids in the morning, and they're hustling off to a job or two, and they just don't have enough to make ends meet. And so this is a program that rewards work and puts money in the pockets of hardworking men and women so they can take care of their children and they can make Rhode Island stronger. Now, I will tell you, I feel very good about the progress we're making. Last year, this economy in Rhode Island created over 8,000 jobs. Rhode Island lowered its unemployment rate last year more than any other state in the country. We're on a roll. Things are looking up. We have momentum. And together we're going to keep going. I told you when I was inaugurated, together you and I have a tall hill to climb, but we will climb it. And I'm here to say we're getting there. And the EITC and all of you who support it in the United Way and Citizens and everyone who is here supporting this program and helping people to make ends meet who are working hard is a huge piece of Rhode Island's comeback. So I'm deeply grateful to your work and to your persistence in the face of a challenging climate. And I will say every little bit helps. I grew up in a household where my mom cut our hair and saved that money and put it away for college. Every lunch bag lasted a week. It was a little wrinkled by Friday, but it lasted a week. Every penny helps these families that are trying to get by, and this program does that. I'd also like to announce today that last year I worked collaboratively with the General Assembly, and I'm grateful for your partnership, to expand the Earned Income Tax Credit program in Rhode Island. And next week on Tuesday, I'll be giving the State of the State and offering my budget to the General Assembly, and I'll be proposing a further expansion of the Earned Income Tax Credit. Next week, I'll be proposing that we increase the allowable percentage to 15% for tax year 2017 and every year thereafter. And by the way, if the revenue projections in May are better than they are, I'd like to see if we can do even more, because it's a good program, and it's a program that makes progress. Last year, I worked with the General Assembly to increase the minimum wage to $9.60, another program that makes work pay. You shouldn't be working full-time living in poverty. This year, I'm going to propose to ask you to be with me to get it up to $10.10. Where people have skills that matter and jobs that pay. Skills that matter and jobs that pay. And that's the vision I have for Rhode Island. And I'll end by saying together, you and I, we're going to get it done. Stay in the trenches, keep doing what you're doing. Let's expand this program. Let's raise the minimum wage. Let's make Rhode Island a place where there's opportunity for everybody and every family can make it in Rhode Island. Thank you.
Okay, the Senate President was not able to make it this morning, but she sent us a brief statement that I'd like to read right now. While I regret that I cannot be with you in person, I congratulate all of you on Earned Income Tax Credit Awareness Day 2016. Thank you to the community action agencies and other critical advocacy and social service voices who have made this event possible and who work every day to improve the lives of our families and individuals in need. I want to reinforce the message that I've conveyed in the past. I support an increase in our state EITC. Our neighbors are at 23% of the federal credit in Massachusetts and 27.5% in Connecticut. At 12.5%, we have a long way to go to be on par with our neighboring states. It is no secret that EITC lifts working families out of poverty. It supplements the wages of low-wage workers, thereby encouraging work. With the high rate of childhood poverty in our state, it is imperative for our children and our future that we increase the EITC this year. I will continue to support these efforts. Now I'd like to invite to the podium Representative Scott Slater.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you for all that everyone does to make this program possible, and it's extremely important to so many people in Rhode Island. I will not repeat or recognize many of the individuals, since we had so many great speakers that came before and gave a lot of the statistics of the program and how it helps out. What I will tell you is the speaker could not be here today too, but I know he understands the importance. Speaker Nicholas Mattiello and the Majority Leader John DeSimone, when I met with them last year on these programs, they get it and they understand the importance of working families, and without their assistance and the finance chair and the governor in her budget, thank you, and thank you for that announcement, that wonderful announcement that you're going to be expanding the program. It's such great news to so many families in Rhode Island that it's wonderful that you continue to expand this program. And so the message from the House and the Speaker is that he understands the importance that this means to so many working families and to provide this assistance, this safety net. So I'd like to deliver that message from him, and it was a very important meeting with him last year. I remember, we have Rachel here, Rachel from the Economic Institute Policy, and before her, we had Kate Brewster over there, who was such a strong advocate. And I'll tell you, when I submitted this legislation, I submitted it since I came to the House in 2009 to expand the program in Rhode Island. And the reason being is because just look at these numbers that I can tell you from Rep District 10. Rachel shared this with me the other day. Tax year 2013, EITC filers brought $7,834,830 in federal dollars back into Rep District 10. It served, over 2,000 of the residents in the area, close to 3,000 residents. I know throughout the state it brings in a lot of money, but I'll tell you, what that means to my district is, it gives people a safety net. It gives them the ability to put away a little bit of money in case there's that event that happens in life. Maybe it's repairs to their car or different things like that. And I had the honor of serving in this House and serving so many great constituents that I'll continue to fight for these programs. I had the honor of following my father in the Rep District 10 seat. And I will tell you, the treasurer talked about this program in Rhode Island and how we have a federal program in Rhode Island. My father was one of the original ones to put the EITC in Rhode Island. So continuing with his service and his understanding that, we need that safety net and we need to help so many low-income people. And I'd like to thank my colleagues that are here that helped make this possible. Representative Bennett, Representative Lancia, thank you for your assistance in pushing for this legislation. And also I have a great sponsor on the Senate side, Senator Golden, so thank you for all your advocacy over there. And this year, I appreciate the governor moving it up to 15, and the numbers look better in May. She has said that she'd like to move it up. I'm submitting legislation to push it to 20% because so hopefully we can fight to make that happen. And with your partnership, Governor, I look forward to working with you. And thank you for expanding this program. It makes it much easier when you're going for 20%, when you're able to move it up to 15. It starts a little bit easier when you're moving in the right direction. So thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Slater. I'd like to invite Senator Golden to the podium. Senator Golden is one of our champions in human services, and she certainly has been a champion in terms of promoting and pushing EITC in this state. Senator?
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a blessing and a curse to be at the very end of all the politicians speaking. So it's a pleasure to be with all of you here this morning. Imagine a Rhode Island that's filled with healthy babies and less stressed out parents and people with just a little bit more money in their pockets. That's what we're all doing here today, making sure that people are better able to provide for their families and better able to keep their utilities on so their homes stay warm, and to make sure that they can afford to get to work with the transportation that they need to do so. The Earned Income Tax Credit, it's just common sense. It helps provide people who need relief, and I'm very eager to see it expanded so it can do more. I'm so delighted to hear Governor Raimondo call for an expansion of EITC on the state level, and I look forward to working with her on that. And it's why I once again have joined Representative Slater in pushing to get legislation introduced that will push EITC to 20% of the federal poverty level. This is a a tax credit that has very positive effects for working families and our local economy, putting money directly back into the hands of thousands of Rhode Islanders who put it right back into our local economy by going out and buying the things they need to keep their families going every single day. And, for the same reason, I'm also very delighted to hear the governor call for a raise in the minimum wage. As somebody who worked on raising the tip minimum wage this year and next, I know how important it is for all families in Rhode Island to make sure that they can make ends meet. I want to make sure we have this take-home message, though, for people who are listening and watching on TV. There are people available to help you file your taxes for free, and you can get money back. And that is the most important message that we get out today. We've made great strides for working families in recent years in Rhode Island, and I hope when we gather for this event at this time next year, we'll be talking about even greater progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Our next speaker is Rachel Flum. She's the Executive Director of the Economic Progress Institute. The Economic Progress Institute has been advocating for many years for earned income tax credit, and really the Institute is really a premier organization that sort of keeps us all honest in terms of what's happening economically in the state, particularly for low-income people. So, Rachel?
Good morning. Thank you, Ben. And it's so wonderful to be in a room of so many elected officials who really get how important the earned income tax credit is. So we're so thankful to be here with the governor today and Senator Whitehouse and Congressman Langevin. Thank you so much for your efforts on the federal level, and also to Representative Slater and Senator Golden and Treasurer Magaziner for all your hard work. I also want to thank the CAP Association for organizing this event today, and for all the workers at the CAP agencies who work so hard, not only on the VITA work that you do, but just to make sure that low-income working families have the benefits they need to provide for their families. I'm here today representing over 20 Rhode Island organizations, including the United Way, all the CAP agencies, the VITA Coalition, both on the statewide level and the Providence level, and many other groups who are really focused on increasing the state EITC. As has been said, Rhode Island has its own state EITC. We joined 25 other states, and over the last couple of years, thanks to the leadership of the governor and the Speaker and the Senate President, we've been able to increase that. And so we really want to thank each of you for your work on that over the last couple years. And also we're thrilled to hear that there will be further movement on that this year. We want to thank you from the coalition, and also, Governor, I have to say, as a research organization, that we are especially pleased to see you coupling the EITC with the minimum wage, because research shows how important those two programs are together in working to help low-income families make ends meet and move up the economic ladder. So thank you. I did want to say on behalf of the coalition that we are here in support of an increase at 15% and also the increase at 20%. We're supporting both Senator Golden and Representative Slater's bills on that point. And part of what we're going to do is have a postcard campaign like we did last year to help keep this at the top of the minds of all state legislators. So you should have postcards on your chair. Please fill them out. You can write a little personal note if you want. Don't worry if you can't remember who your rep or senator is. We'll figure that out. Juan Espinosa has a box in the back, and we can drop them off. And this is really our campaign to help make sure that this stays at the priority of all the state reps and senators this year. So thank you again, and thank you to the organizers of this event for having it. It's such an important one. Thank you.
So our next speaker, I think we all at a high level understand what this is and how important it is, but our next speaker understands this at a very personal level. And her name is Jeanette Perez, and I'd like to invite her to the podium.
Hi, thank you. Again, my name is Jeanette Perez, and I currently attend Rhode Island College. I go there full-time, and I work part-time on campus. My boyfriend also goes to college and works part-time, and together we try to provide our best for our child, and we still try to make ends meet. I receive a stipend from my campus job, but it's not much, so we rely on his income. And the earned income tax credit allows us to stay current with our bills. It has allowed us to fix our car, which is the only car and reliable transportation we have to get to work and to school. And over the past couple of years, it also has helped us pay for our child care in advance, which is always a struggle. And with the extra money we receive from earned income tax credit, we're able to buy necessities for our daughter, like shoes, socks, underwear, and we also stock up on food. Again, I work and go to school because I'm trying to get out of poverty, and I thank the governor, the senators, and the representatives for increasing the state earned income tax credit last year, and for working to do more this year to help families like mine to provide a better future for our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. Our next speaker is Art Ayad, Director of Campus Collections from the IRS.
Good morning. I, too, would like to thank you for attending the Rhode Island Community Action Association kickoff event on EITC Awareness Day. To help spread the word about this very important tax credit available. We're here to get the word out. It's amazing that there are still 21% nationally, 21% of the population would be eligible and don't claim this credit. Organizations such as those in the room here today are a key instrument in helping that part of the population have access to preparation and the ability to claim this and other tax credits that helps assist people. We encourage anyone who earned $54,000 or less from wages, self-employment, farming in 2015 to see if they qualify. Eligible workers can get their EITC only if they file a federal return, and especially or specifically to claim the credit, even if they are not otherwise required to file. We want to reach every working individual who may qualify for EITC. Earlier was mentioned newly eligible taxpayers due to changes in their income, marital, or parental status, farm workers, others living in rural areas, self-employed, workers with disabilities, workers in non-traditional situations, such as grandparents, maybe raising grandchildren, childless workers, especially those earnings who may be too low to require a filing of a tax return. The variety of ways to see if you're eligible. Fortunately, here in Rhode Island, the United Way 211 option is an amazing opportunity and service. Other ways you can find out, you can certainly call us at the IRS, and we'll try and do better to answer the phone this year, by the way. That number is 1-800-829-1040. Also on our website at irs.gov, you can find information on the ITC credit, if you're eligible, and how to file. So thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.
Okay, just wrapping up, I'd like to recognize my fellow executive directors, Joanne, Paul, and Melissa. If you stand up, please. These are the guys that really lead the fight. And I just want to again circle back around to the preparers. If you go into any community action agency or other community organizations, generally in the afternoons you're going to see bunches of people queuing up. And it's these preparers that really get the job done. They get the job done in a lot of different ways, not only in terms of the returns, but also in terms of providing financial education, but also pointing people toward other services that they may need as well. And so they are really kind of the unsung heroes here. And I can't say enough how much we appreciate our elected officials being here today. Sometimes preparers and other folks in human service organizations don't make the connection or don't think that elected officials really care about some of this stuff. And so the fact that we've got elected officials here who are passionate and get it and understand what we're trying to do is a wonderful thing. So I thank you very much.